5, 4, 3, 2, 1. It's time to count down reality TV's most talked about moments with Amanda Bella. Hello everyone, and welcome back to another episode of Bella Talks TV. This is Amanda Bella, and yes, it's still the same old me. I am still recovering from my bachelorette party in Chicago over the weekend, so I'm shocked that I'm able to sit here and record an episode in between the week. Again, I cannot believe that I was dumb enough to plan my bachelorette party the weekend before I was going to Vegas for BravoCon. That now sounds, in retrospect, like the dumbest idea ever. But, however, I will persevere, and I'm going to have the best time ever, and I really hope I get to see a bunch of you out there and meet as many other Bravo fans as possible, because this is truly a sisterhood, and I'm obsessed with every single friend I've made along the way. And I foresee Vegas just being a continuation of building bonds and meeting so many people, not only that I look up to as other people that are creating content for Bravo and other reality shows, podcasters, people with amazing pages I've followed for forever. I mean, I always fangirl out when I meet, because I'm not somebody who would really ever go up to a celebrity or a Bravo celebrity even in the wild. I would just not do that. Actually, I don't even know if I got to tell you a story yet about how I was at an event on October 22nd. And yes, actually, I'm remembering now, I haven't released since October 20th because that was the last time since I didn't record last week since I was out of town. So I haven't even got to tell you guys this story yet. But I went to a Roni reunion premiere party in downtown NYC. And with a bunch of other amazing pages that I know and people that are creating awesome content out there. So I was already excited just to be going to this event and hanging out with all of my peers, my besties. And I walk into this event and I check in at the front. Immediately when you walk in, there's a lovely lady there checking everybody in and giving them a couple of drink tickets if they signed up online. So doing the check-in process, I get my drink tickets, and I'm the first to arrive. It's literally 8:01 because I just love a good Roni event. Actually, not even just Roni, but obviously for any Bravo event, I just can't wait. I'm going to be there with bells on. So I'm one of the first people to get there. Walk in, check in, get my drink ticket, and I turn to the left, and I'm standing at the bar. And you can tell, you can just feel an energy. Like everybody knows that when you're in the room with what I would consider to be a celebrity, there's just an energy and an air about them. You can't help it. You're just drawn to that corner of the room. So immediately my eyes go to the left and I look, and there's Tayshia from The Bachelorette. My favorite Bachelorette, by the way. So I'm already freaking out. It takes me about 3 minutes to realize that she's there with Luke. And so her and Luke, I can definitely confirm, are still together. And I saw them together and they were so cute. And I'm actually a fan of Luke. I know a lot of people weren't with him on Summer House and everything that went down. I'm a girl, Midwest girly. So a boy from Minnesota, I just automatically feels like a brother to me. So I don't know. There's just something about Luke. I think he's misunderstood. Now, the man has a type. We cannot deny that. First it was Sierra. And then it was Ashley Darby, the Darby Barbie from Potomac. And then now onto Tayshia. So, I mean, put them in a lineup. The three of them literally could be sisters. So I understand the man has a type. But I don't think he's harmful. I think he's just knows what he likes. So they looked really cute and happy together. I was freaking out. I did not interact with them. I didn't say hey. I didn't ask for a picture. I didn't really even tell too many people I saw them until now. It's been a couple of weeks. So actually, the day after I saw them, the New York Post had put out a story that they were seen ring shopping. Now, I did not see any type of ring, and I did not see them shopping for it. I cannot say anything like that. They were just at a bar enjoying, themselves. So they're just super cutie. But how amazing, and what an NYC story, right? You walk into a bar and there I am with Tayshia. I was freaking out though, and I definitely would have never been able to approach them. So going into BravoCon, I'm not thinking of who am I going to get a picture with or who am I going to meet? It's not really about meeting people. It's just like going to the zoo for me. I'd rather walk exhibit to exhibit, have some snacks and just kind of see the different things going on throughout the day versus really trying to like fly too close to the sun. Now, with that being said, there's definitely a few people I would love to meet. I was at BravoCon last year too, so it's not like it's going to be the first time I'm seeing a lot of these housewives, a lot of these people in general. I've been literally in the Watch What Happens clubhouse, where it is so small. Like my guest bathroom is bigger than the Watch What Happens clubhouse. So when I was there with Andy and everybody, like, yes, I've been up and close to some of these people before, but people that I'm really excited. Okay, so last BravoCon, when I saw Tamra for the first time, that definitely made me like tear up a little bit. I was really excited to see her. Same with Sheena. When I saw Sheena and some of the other Vanderpump Rules crew last year, that was really exciting. I saw the whole Miami panel last year, so I think I'm going to skip that one this year and try to go see somebody like Beverly Hills panel, who I didn't get to see them last year, so I've actually never seen. I saw Dorit at the Watch What Happens Live BravoCon last year, so I mean, I've seen some of these girls that I really want to see, but I've seen them before, so this is really just going to be me again, walking around soaking it up. It's funny now that, I mean, to even say I have a podcast, whatever, this is the 4th episode, considering myself a Bravo podcaster or somebody who contributes to this medium. But going into this BravoCon does feel a little bit different. It feels kind of like a work trip, kind of like a networking trip. I'm going there to really have a lens on what's going on and be able to come back and tell you everything that I saw. So this is a little bit different than last time, where I was just like day drunk in the middle of the day at the Javits Center, like by myself. So this is going to be a really good time this year. Right now it is Wednesday, November 1st, so I won't be able to get an update out to you guys after the Beverly Hills episode tonight or Southern Charm coming out tomorrow, any of these shows. We'll talk a little bit about what happened last week, but I won't be able to do that since I leave at 5 a.m. tomorrow. So wish me luck, and I'm just so happy that post-Bachelorette I made it through all the way to BravoCon, and I somehow did not die in between. So with kind of off the Bachelorette, I want to kind of segue into my LOL and my OMG of the week. So I'm like, wow, what a segue. But honestly, there's no real way to say it. But my OMG of the week, we'll get right into it, has got to be the passing of Matthew Perry from Friends. Now, I understand. I've heard a couple people now talk about how he actually really did not want to be known for Friends. He wanted to be talked about for the many other things that he did, like the Perry House, which was a home in Malibu, a halfway home and sober living facility for men dealing with addiction in California. He had, many other foundations and things that he did. He did a one-man show on Broadway, I think, or off Broadway, about his struggle with addiction, and he just did a lot more than just his friend's role. So, but of course, that is what everybody knows him from. Now, I feel like a scammer sitting here, like the Anna Delvey of reality TV podcasts. Well, this isn't reality TV, so I guess it doesn't count. But I've never seen Friends. Like, I obviously know every character. I know basically the whole story and I pretty much just know just from being who I am. I didn't even have to watch, pretty much. But I don't know the levels of the quotes and the inside jokes and the really funny standout moments. But obviously I know everything that happened. And it doesn't hit me the same way. So, yes, very sad passing. But when we found out, it was Saturday night, and we were at my bachelorette party, and I was with a group of, 12 girls that were all of the ages of 32 to 36. So they were all very affected by this. Some of the girls were literally crying at my party over this. So we were at the club crying over Matthew Perry. So even though I personally can't sit here and speak to the way that he personally affected me with his stuff, with his work and all of the true art that he was able to do. I know that he was an artist of comedic timing. He really was a producer in his own way of his role on Friends, and he really created that character and made it what it was. So he touched a lot of people's hearts, and that whole process of losing him over the weekend has been unbelievable to a lot of people. And I've read the joint statements from the Friends of Cast, or the cast of Friends, and it just seems like there's a really sad piece of the puzzle missing today because he is gone. So RIP to Matthew Perry. I really do hope that you are in a better place and resting peacefully, and that you know that you were very loved and accepted exactly the way that you were on earth. So please know that. Now, let's end on a high note. I wanted to get that one out of the way because then we can move on to the LOL of the week. It just, it seems kind of tone deaf to move into something ridiculous after this, but let's try to lighten the mood a little. I've never laughed. Okay, so I really try to pick my LOL of the week when I'm guttural laughing, like that moment of the week where I was like, wait, what the hell am I watching? So I don't know if you guys are actually watching Bachelor in Paradise because I see nobody talking about it. So I'm hesitant to even really spend a lot of time on it. But with that being said, I laughed so hard this last episode, or week 4, I think on the outtakes at the end, they always play like a little blooper reel. So apparently Blake, Canadian Blake is there on the beach, and then Jess, Glitter Jess. So gotta love Bachelor synonyms. All the nicknames are so funny. I'll always love to. I will never get over one of my favorite things about Bachelor that still continues to this day. Every episode is having to say somebody's last initial when there's like more than one of them in the room. So even when we know who is with each other, they still have to say Aaron S. or like Emily B. It's like, we know that you're with Emily B, Justin. We know. Anyways. So Blake apparently was able to bring his dog. He's got his dog down there on the beach, and he's seen Jess, which I'm not sure how well that's going if you're watching. It seems like I don't really know who the strongest couples in Paradise right now are. I don't even think Avon and Kylie are that strong. I see that falling apart in seconds. I don't know. They're like watching paint dry to me. But at least maybe Brayden and Rachel, like Brayden and Rachel really coming out of left field for me. I like Brayden. I like a weirdo. I don't really love Rachel. I liked Rachel with Gabby. That was like one of my favorite Bachelorette seasons. Rachel seems like she's learned to like loosen up a little bit. I'm obsessed with Rachel's dad. That's a whole other story though. Big Tony or whatever his name is. Yes. Give me some more of Big Tony. But I digress, but back to Blake's dog. So on the beach, Jess apparently takes a walk with Blake's dog. Blake's dog gets a hold of her sandal, and the way that she chases this dog around on the beach for at least like 2 minutes and 30 seconds had me rolling on the floor laughing. So if you haven't seen a clip of that, maybe I'll try to post it on my Instagram. That shit was so funny. Like, I don't know what it was, but it just kept going on and on and on. And just the way that the dog was reacting, like she gets the sandal back, spoiler alert, and the way that the dog is reacting when I'm afraid the dog's going to actually try to eat her. So please go watch that episode. I was cracking the fuck up. So the whole episode was just really funny. The whole season actually of Bachelor in Paradise has been off the walls bananas. I have to just briefly touch on the fact that somebody was sent home this season because they hadn't pooped for 9 days. And that is a medical hazard. I mean, if I didn't go 9 hours without pooping, I think my body would explode. But 9 days, I'm going to give it off to Sam. She was sent home. She had to leave the beach. The guy said they were going to have to deliver a poop baby if she did not go to the bathroom by herself. So she opted to leave and go home and take care of the situation. So she out. But I just can't believe that was a storyline. And like her date, like I said, Aaron S. was feeding her like beans and tacos and stuff, trying to get her to shit so that she didn't have to leave the beach. One of the most bizarre episodes of TV I have ever seen. But hey, girls poop. It's cool. We definitely can talk about it. It was just like a little TMI. Went a little too far. And then right now, Corinne Olympios from The Bachelorette, of Bachelor fame and House of Villains fame. She's also doing a round of podcast interviews and stuff right now. And she talked about how that's very common. She's like, no, the girls do not poop at Paradise. And I can kind of see that. I'm pretty sure there's like snakes and crabs like in the toilets there. I don't know. Paradise would not be for me. I don't like sand. I don't like to be dirty. And I like to wash my hair every day. I don't know. But to each their own. This episode or this whole season has been a wild ride thus far. If you're not tuning in yet, please do for some good laughs. And we can move right into my top 5 countdown of the week. So I've got a couple really good things I've seen. Again, I'm always trying every week to just wrangle up those stories that are online, just like a Scandival, that Scandival effect. Like when I got on my phone that day on March 3rd or whatever it was when it broke, and every single page was posting basically the same TMZ link. Like that's the type of vibe we're going here for. I want to find the top 5 moments of that every week that like I can't go on Instagram without seeing about. So this week I decided to start number 5 with Married at First Sight. So again, this is one of those shows that I don't see that many people talking about, but you cannot, I would be doing myself and other reality TV girlies a disservice if I don't at least talk about this episode, because I teased it a little bit before about how I think that they said somebody was going to get left at the altar during the weddings. And now we have made it through all 5 weddings. We're on episode 3 of the season. All 5 weddings have now happened and everybody is married. And we have 4 couples because Michael was left at the altar. So it's a little ditty about Michael. When I first saw him during the casting episode, they always do a casting episode, I kind of like didn't really know what was going on with this guy. I had one eye on him, let's just say that. I was like, I'm not really sure what's up with this dude. But then I kind of also knew that he was the one to get left at the altar. So I'm like, okay, well, maybe he did something, or maybe he's like a weirdo, and maybe there's a reason why this girl leaves him. So you have to watch to see the whole situation. But basically what happens is it's the wedding day, and you know, every episode or every season before the weddings, it's what is the word, customary for the bride and the groom to send each other gifts and like a little note. They haven't met each other, they don't even know each other's names, so just to give them a little last, you know, thing before they are about to meet each other down the aisle in a few minutes. Michael receives his gift, and it is, to me, I have no idea how the hell I would react to this. His wife, who he's never met, sends him a scepter and a crown with jewels, kind of, you know, for a king. And she was like, "Oh, this is for my king. I'm your queen. We're finally going to meet," and along those lines. So he's like jazzed about this. He's like, I'm going to wear this at the altar. Like I'm going to have the crown on, everything. I'm waiting for her. He was so excited to meet her. And he's down there, he's waiting. Yeah, he's nervous and stuff, but it doesn't seem like the situation's anything out of the ordinary yet. The doors open, she walks down the aisle, and then as soon as they turn to each other, he goes, "Oh," you know, he's like, "Hi, I'm Michael," which again is very weird that they always have to introduce each other right before they're about to get married. But as soon as he introduces himself, she replies, "I'm sorry, I don't think I can do this. I don't want to marry a stranger." She walks out, she leaves. No, I'm totally doing him a disservice now. He actually stands there. I'm just like starting to tear up a little bit. He actually stands there and he goes, "I understand your decision. You know, this is journey's not for everybody, and I wish you the best." And he handled it with so much class and grace, and he just seemed like such a gentleman and such a little Pooh Bear. My heart broke for him. This man did nothing. This man literally she did not know him. So there's a few conspiracy theories. One theory that they kind of alluded to is that somebody in the audience, maybe one of her friends or somebody, saw him at the altar and texted her backstage to be like, "Hey, you don't want to do this," or like, you know, and then she knows. I'm sure production was like, "You have to at least go out there and tell him you're not going to marry him. You can't just like not go out there and never meet him." So I'm sure after hours or whatever of production trying to get her down the aisle, they did. But holy shit, they get her down the aisle. She rejects the man basically based on looks. Unless somebody knows him and went on a date with him and had inside info and told her not to marry him, she rejected him only on his looks. And then, which, you know, is he my type? I don't know, kind of maybe. I don't know, not really particularly. If you saw my fiance, they look absolutely nothing alike. But I don't think that he's like an unattractive person. It's just, and it's like, is she a supermodel? Like, who says that she gets to be the one to say that? Ugh, I'm already ticked off. So I don't know. I'm not really sure exactly where this is going to go. I mean, clearly Michael is heartbroken. He handled it like a champ. His friends, his bros were all around him telling him how much they believe in him and how much they know he's going to be able to get through this. And it was a very touching moment. So I highly recommend this season of Married at First Sight. It's really pulling all the heartstrings for me so far. And the other couples are great too. I mean, of course, there's going to be drama. We all have one couple that's a little sus. But we are going to see how they all play out as weeks unfold. So please be tuning into that if you're not already. Moving right on to my number 4 most talked about moment of the week, moving into Winter House. So I'm actually loving that they went to Steamboat this season versus being back at that crusty Vermont house. I don't know, something about that place. Okay, this might be a hot take, but I don't like Sierra, and I just feel like everything that Sierra was in, like, needed to be, like, we need a new summer house without her. We need a new winter house without her. Please stop trying to make Sierra happen, because it's not going to happen. But anyways, so now they're in Steamboat, loving this fresh new energy out there this season. They were very, very smart to keep, like I said, Sierra and Austin far away from the winter house. And we're out there. We've got new people mingling. And one thing that I am living for, though, is this Corey drama. Like, Corey is the new Austin. We needed a new douchebag to hate. And I've had my eye on Corey for a little while. I think we all knew there was a little bit of some trans phobic energy coming from him online, and I think he got called out about that, and he probably did some pretty good cleanup, and then also just kept his mouth shut for a while, which is the number one thing you should always do. A lot of people haven't realized that if you have been called out for doing something and there's receipts or whatever have it, it's best to just take accountability and keep your head down. Like, why are you trying to defend your transphobic rights? Please stop. Thank you. So back to into the winter house. So everybody's moving in. Everybody's talking about this new cast. It's actually kind of hard to believe that we have these people here. So Schwartz is coming in hot. He came in. He actually had to leave the winter house to go film the Vanderpump Rules reunion and then come back. So we're going to see all of that timeline unfold on this season. We're seeing, like I said, Corey come in, and he, at the first episode, is talking about how he's basically just in a situationship with Sam, and I don't think that she knew that. So we're going to also see that unfold. We have some of the below deckies in there, and I too have never gotten over Malia. Like, girl, you broke girl code. You broke girl code, and therefore, unfortunately, you get burned at the stake now. So we are not into Malia. Now, I like Malia for this one reason. She clearly has no self-awareness, and those are the best Bravo celebrities. So the fact that she has no idea, I don't know, like, is Corey, like, you guys, I don't know, write me in the comments. Is Corey giving her breadcrumbs? Like, is Corey making Malia think she has a chance? Because the episode, or the premiere for next episode, the trailer shows her literally lunging on him like a poisonous frog in the Amazon and like licking his face. And it doesn't look like it's consensual. So I don't know what is going on over there. But we have that situation. We have Danielle rebounding from Robert in the hot tub with Alex, who just tried to make out with Jordan, who denied him, who also denied Brian Benny from Family Karma. And she said she needs to get herself a chiropractor because she's out here dodging all these bros out in the hallways. I'm loving this season. You can just hear it in me. I love all these messy kids getting drunk together again. I don't know. Is Winter House the new Summer House? Is it because Amanda's not there? I mean, is it me? Usually I am, again, like the sisterhood of Amanda's, but I don't know. Lots and lots of thoughts, but the whole Winter House premiere being out and being into the universe now, I think is very stirring up this whole idea. And then now at BravoCon, I'm interested to see, like, if anybody, I don't know, like, is Schwartz still talking to this girl? I mean, he's going to hook up with this girl from Below Deck. I got to see. We got to wait and see. We got to watch what happens live. Okay, so on to number 3. We are going to check in with the chicks from Beverly Hills. So that also premiered. And It was a little bit of a slow start for me. Except for Dorit. I live for Dorit calling out Erica at BravoCon. No, you guys, I was there. I'm pretty sure. Is that the episode? Was that it? Yes, that happened. I don't know. I can't remember. All the Watch What Happens blur, but I feel like I was there when that happened last year. And that was really intense. So she's right. Erica went down there, said it with her whole pussy, and now we all have to live with the consequences of that and watch that play out. I want to see. It looks like Erica, is she really gonna say sorry? Is she ever sorry? She's there asking about empathy, and I feel like if you're in your 50s and you haven't developed it yet, it's going to be really tough, but I believe in her. More power to you. If I see her, no, she's somebody I would at least spend, $50. No, I would actually probably spend more. I would love to see an Erica Jane show. I like expensive. I like all that stuff. That's kind of fun. It's camp. So I would do it. No shade to her musical career, but I just really feel like she's somebody I would love to run into. Now, my mom, I asked her today. I said, Mom, what is the one housewife that if I meet, like, you want me to be like, oh, you're my mom's favorite housewife? And you'll never fucking guess what she would said. I actually feel like I'm embarrassed to admit this. I don't know, am I? I also was like, yes, Mom, slay. She said Lisa Rinna. And she goes, no, I liked her before the Housewives, and I've liked her all through the years. So she said that would be the one housewife that if I meet her, she would be pretty excited. So manifesting a renovation in my life. Moving on to number 2. Let's check in with the ladies of Salt Lake City. So I'm recording Wednesday. I'm just coming fresh off this episode last night, Tuesday night. They took last week off, so we didn't have that new episode, which was very painful. And now we're back. And I have one complaint. There wasn't enough Angie. We had a lot of Angie's dad, who, yes, I am obsessed with also. Oh my God, don't even get me started on Angie's dad. He is such a cutie. I love him. I want him to find love too. He should be the next Golden Bachelor. We need to get that started. But we need a little more Angie at this episode. But no, the most talked about moment, aside from me loving on Angie's dad, was this scene with Monica and her mother at this restaurant. Okay, so I have a different lens. I have a weird lens, I think, because I've really never fought with my mom. She's been disappointed in me before. Don't get it wrong, but we don't fight. We don't ever say anything to each other that isn't just normal, normal stuff. Like, we just don't ever get into it. We don't get into the mix. And my mom doesn't drink, so we've never been drunk or been to, I've never had to see her like that. I'm very blessed. I'm very, very lucky to have a mother like I have. So when she was in that confessional saying, I wish I had a different mom, I couldn't relate because I feel nothing like that. I don't wish that in any way. So I feel I have empathy for her. Yes, I don't know what she's going through, but I have a lot of empathy for her. I feel absolutely terrible about that. And this episode of her being in this restaurant with her was very chaotic and very unsettling. And like Lisa Barlow said on Watch What Happens Live, it was disturbing. Like, it's disturbing to watch them. It's not normal. So first we sit down in this restaurant and Linda's got a headache. She starts crying. I mean, it's obvious crocodile tears. Monica's not even giving it 1 second. It's clear that it's because it's on camera that she's really trying to switch up her moods here. So, and then she starts digging through her bag and she's looking for migraine medicine, and she's got all these tactics that she's trying to use on Monica, but Monica does really good. She sits there pretty firmly. And I think also, again, with the strength of the cameras and all of the eyes of America behind her, she knew, like, I cannot let my mother just let me be portrayed as the one that's the wackadoo here. Like, we had to bring it back because a lot of people online are trying to say that Monica is in the wrong here. Even Lisa's like, I would never talk to my mom like that. Now, yes, maybe I agree with that part, maybe the tone or whatever, but she has been through a lot. She tells us that when Monica was 12, her mother abandoned her to go chase her dreams in New York City and left her with a family that wasn't even her family, a different family of friends that she stayed with while her mother left. And eventually she failed at living there and, I think just basically went broke and eventually got Monica back from Pennsylvania. And then maybe that's when they went to Boston. I'm not sure from there. But just that whole situation of hearing that reminded me a lot of hearing about like when Brynn was talking about her childhood on Roni and how she said that her diaper wouldn't get changed for days. It's like, what is going on out there with the mothers? We got to get the mothers together here. I am just concerned. I am definitely just concerned because we know mental health is in a decline in this country. So if you're a mom, that doesn't mean that you're not affected magically. Like it probably affects if you are a mom even more. Now, I can't speak to that because I don't have children, but I imagine that when your mental health is bad and you have kids to take care of, I mean, that sounds like literally my worst nightmare. So that's probably why I don't have kids yet. And just seeing this play out is very, very upsetting. I really hope that they get the help that they need. They need Dr. Drew. They need Dr. Jen. They need every single doctor that's ever, even put Dr. Ken in there from Atlanta. Let them all in. Father Ken, whatever his name is. We need all the help that we can get to band around this family because I see a nugget of some healing there. I do believe that if Linda changes, Monica's receptive to having a mom that's different. But it has to come from Linda. She's the mother, and that's how it goes. One of the craziest things, this actually was, this reminds me actually of like a crazy ex or something, or just some kind of weird situation like that, where she talked about how, Monica's got bad credit. We don't know if it's Monica. I'm air quoting Monica. Is it Monica? There's aliases, there's things going on, but she doesn't have a car in her name. We find out this episode. And like she said, there are no secrets that are staying in this one. And so her mother takes the car away because it's in her name when they get into this fight. And then Monica has to go rent another car and do all of these things so that she can get around with her children. There's a lot going on there. I'm sending them also love and healing out to Salt Lake City because that sounds like a really traumatic relationship that they need to heal, and they need to put some work into that. And speaking of trauma, it brings me to my number one episode. It's actually not an episode. It's really just a cultural moment that we are all talking about right now. And it's definitely the most talked about thing that I've seen so far this week that every single page cannot get enough of. And it involves a lot of different people. So I'm like, let's get into it. Number one moment of the week, we're talking about Ramona Singer being kicked out of BravoCon. So the reason why I'm choosing this specific way to put this is because this feels to me like the reality reckoning. Like this is it. Like I almost feel like, did Bethenny start all of this just to get Ramona? Do they have some kind of a very old, some kind of backstabbing that we don't know about from like back in the day that now like Bethenny has been coming just to get Ramona like finally fired all this time? Because to me, this article comes out from Vanity Fair and it's basically a flop. It's a big fat nothing and everybody really is just laughing in her face. So the one thing that does come out of it, that the one person that looks okay coming out of it, I guess, is kind of Eboni. And the only reason why, it's not even that Eboni did anything that iconic. Eboni we already know that every single person that's in this article, Eboni, Leah, Bethenny, are all people that continued to work with Bravo and NBC or whatever, Universal, after the dates of the complaints that they filed. So to me, you're basically all bullshit now. Okay, so regardless of that whole situation, I'm trying to figure out how Eboni DMs Bethenny back in 2020. And it's like, thank you for using your platform for good. And, yes, Bethenny has done a lot of good fundraising. Now, are we going to find out later that like, I don't know. I hope not. Let's just trust. I don't trust a lot of fundraising. Like, if you work out there in the fundraising business, I know a little bit. I worked a little bit in it in Chicago. So anyways, it's an interesting business, and I don't want to take away from everything that Bethenny has done. But she starts Be Strong. Eboni reaches out to her, and it looks like, Bethenny never replies. And then later, Bethenny does reply, years later or whatever, and is like, sorry, I didn't see this. Thank you. And then this was a kind of a receipt that Bethenny tried to pull to show that Eboni was trying to reach out and like work with Bethenny or something, like basically something to show, because they're trying to say, Eboni's trying to distance herself from Bethenny because, yes, Bethenny started this whole reality reckoning thing. That's the words that they use in the Vanity Fair article. And they pretty much just lumped them in together into this article. But Eboni's like, no, I don't really know this woman, like Mariah Carey. Like, she's like, I don't know her. And and Bethenny's like, no, I'm going to try to prove this. Well, then what they didn't show, of course, Bethenny loves to post a cropped receipt, and they didn't show that the last message was Bethenny like reaching out to Eboni again, and then Eboni leaving her on read. So it's just funny because from the first time the first DM was sent to the last, there were like 3.5 years difference. So clearly it was more of Eboni just years ago reaching out to her as like kind of like a fan and being like, hey girl, like love what you're doing. And then on the flip side, it showed that Bethenny really only reached out to her because she like needed her for this article. So she played herself, just like DJ Khaled would say. She played herself, and we all got to see that. Now, speaking of playing yourself, we move on to the next part of this portion, which is Eboni going after Ramona in the article, saying that she used the N-word. And I'm not surprised, and that doesn't excuse it, but it was just time. It was just time. I love that. I love the Blocked by Jax. Jen is her name. She posted that Titanic meme of her with the heart. She's like, it's been 84 years. It was like how long it took BravoCon to realize Ramona's problematic. Now, I think I've said this before, which again is a controversial take, but there are a lot of racists out there. And a lot of them watch Bravo, I think. There's just a certain type of Kelly Dodd people watching Bravo. So, that being said, like, there were ratings coming in, and there were people, like, liking her on their screens. Like, she wasn't everybody's villain, so I see why they kept her around for a while. She was a draw, and she was an OG, and she's out now. So BravoCon officially announced last night that Ramona has been removed. I think the Bravo babe, I was dying laughing. She did a screen recording of her going onto the BravoCon app and pulling up the artist section and searching for Ramona, and she gone. They already removed her from the app and everything. So she will not be there, and there's no love lost. I wasn't really looking forward to running into her, although it would have been iconic to have one of these situations, because I've heard these stories about her, especially at BravoCon, where she just walks to the front of the line. She doesn't say sorry. She doesn't say excuse me. She's made other people pay for her drinks before, left tabs open. So if that would have happened to me and I would have been able to come back next week and been like, you guys, I was at BravoCon and Ramona stuck me with her bill, that would have been worth it. Unfortunately, another one bites the dust, another housewife down for problematic behavior, and it's all anybody's talking about, even though it's just, I think it's good. It's like validation. We're talking about it to be like, see, I knew. See, yeah, we weren't crazy. Like, we weren't just being like gaslit by Ramona Singer for the last 15 years. So I know that a lot of people are sad about that, but I am not one of them. With that being said, that does bring me to the end of another episode of Bella Talks TV. Now, I was trying to promise 2 episodes this week. I would have really loved to do a bonus episode where I go through the nominees for the Bravos and talk about who I would choose to win each category. So it's 6 o'clock right now. I'm going to drop my dog off at my mother-in-law's. and then I'm going to finish packing. And if I can get that little bonus episode out tonight, you guys will have something extra to listen to. And if not, I will save a bonus for next week, and I will do a whole separate episode just on my BravoCon experience. So I promise I have more content coming out for you. But thank you so much for being here for this episode, and I love you all. Please continue to support me online. Please go give me a follow at Bella Talks TV on all social media platforms. And I would love to collab if there's any other podcasters listening. If you'd like to have me on your show, or if you want to come on mine, please email me at bellatalkstv@gmail.com. All right. Bye, Bellas. Have the best weekend ever. Love you. Bella Talks TV is recorded, edited, and produced by me, Amanda Bella. You can follow me at Bella Talks TV on Instagram and TikTok. And please also be sure to email me any questions, or if you want to work together in any way, at bellatalkstv@gmail.com.